When it comes to New England, especially Boston, the lobster roll is hands down the most popular sandwich. The most popular and wanted sandwich for us is the North Shore beef. But when it comes to the most popular food in general, it's definitely clam chowder here in Boston. I'm going to go to all of the super heavyweights reputation-wise, whether it be thin, the broth is too thick, until I find the very best clam chowder in all of Boston. Will I be able to find a clam chowder in my favorite city that can match my homemade chowder? And to Boston, I say, good luck. What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel where I share my passion for food in New England, especially food here in the Boston area. We are at a super heavyweight when it comes to clam chowder and seafood. I've eaten here before. The seafood's delicious, but I never had the clam chowder. It is the most popular clam chowder on Instagram, on social media. It looks fantastic. Now, from a chef's point of view, it looks too thick, too full of dill, but you eat with your eyes first. That's what I'm seeing. You guys think it's delicious. I think it doesn't look bad. I'm gonna go in to see if it's the real deal. Boston Loft, let's go to work. Finding a parking spot at the meters on a Sunday is not easy. You usually gotta pay $10,000 to park in Boston. I was able to find a spot in front. There was an alleyway here with a lot of parking right by the pier, and I found out that this is a private lot. Do not try to park here or you're gonna be towed. A lot of tourists that like to visit Boston are gonna love walking along this pier right next to Boston Loft. This is an iconic spot. Delicious food in here. You guys are gonna like the pictures on the wall. Very New England-like. There's a full bar, plenty of seating behind this angle I shot, and bathrooms and house. If you claim to be the Boston's best clam chowder, let's talk about what makes the best clam chowder. When making a roofie soup, make sure you cook the flour taste out of it. I want the thickness to be between old school thin, like Neptune oysters, and a little bit too thick. I don't want it. I want it in between. I want to be able to taste the clam broth through the heaviness of the cream. I don't want a potato fest. I don't want 1,000 potatoes. I don't want shit clams like steamers in there and just chopped clams. I want my potatoes cut uniform and cooked properly. This is the perfect chowder because it's mine. When you come to the Boston Loft, I got a seat right by the window. You people outside of Boston who are visiting here are going to absolutely love the view in this place. Nice little hint for you guys. If the menu has no pages to turn and it looks like it's a decent size, that usually means that quality control of the food is going to be maintained. I took a look at this soup, took a look at this chowder. It already looks way too thick and way too much dill is put into this chowder. Looks like they can hold back on the dill here. And while pouring it off of the spoon, look at how thick that is. That looks like molasses, for Christ's sakes. Gonna give it a shot. It looks decent. I think everybody overrates how it looks. They think it looks like the best chowder ever. This looks way too thick. When picking this up, looks like there's enough clams in here, as much clams as potatoes, and that's a good sign. You guys know my rules. Only two things that go on a chowder: black pepper and oyster crackers. We don't need to pour any hot shit on it. We are New England. We want to taste and we love the seafood itself. This is a decent chowder. I could taste the broth almost equally to the cream. The cream supersedes it a little bit, but we have way too much dill flavor going on here, guys. I cannot express how much the aftertaste is kicking in with this dill. I would put at least a quarter of the dill that they put in this chowder, and then I think we have a winner. There's enough clams, potatoes are cooked properly, but it is way too thick, and the dill flavor is just overpowering this chowder. I want to taste the clams and the clam broth. Just take a look at that close-up right there, guys, of all the dill that you can see in there. I would like to see more little necks being used, something other than just chopped clams and these clam chowders that claim to be the very best, guys. We got to use better quality clams. Look at the thickness of this soup. If you didn't believe me, there you go. Not pricey at all. Definitely worth the price. I'm in the car! So now I can talk shit. This is going to be an interesting review because I thought the people in here were sweethearts. Great service. Atmosphere is great. I've been in here before. They have great food, guys. I never tried the clam chowder till now. Great aftertaste. Too thick. Way too thick. If I had to criticize this chowder, I would say it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was way too thick. You could tell that when the chowder's hanging off of the cup and sticks to the side of the cup like plastering. So way too thick for my taste. If you guys like the thickest chowder ever, this is going to be for you. If you like a ton of dill in your chowder, this is for you. You know my ranking system. I tell you how much I paid for it, $10 and change, and I tell you how much it's worth. It's worth exactly $10 and change, but I thought it was a delicious chowder that was just overpowered by the dill and a little too thick for my taste. Was this chowder better than mine? Not even close. It's going to be difficult for me to find a restaurant that's going to match my clam chowder. And I'm not just saying my clam chowder is the indestructible chowder in the world, guys. Any chef that knows what they're doing is going to be able to make a chowder better than a restaurant. Restaurant has to deal with making chowder in bulk, which is very difficult to maintain quality control. They had as many clams as potatoes. The potato texture was perfect. The broth was about 50-50 with the cream, which is good. Great aftertaste. Too thick, too full of dill for my taste. Was it the best chowder in Boston and the entire Boston area, Massachusetts? I don't think so. We are on to the next spot. Hit the subscribe button if this is the kind of content you're into, because I do not lie just because it looks good on Instagram like the other content creators in the area. And if you don't like this content, then piss off. That's it, I'm done!